Hey guys, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this full glam cut crease makeup look that I've gotten so many requests on doing a tutorial for. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. Now to start some brows, I'm going to go ahead and go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Pomade Dipbrow in dark brown. I like to start by using one of the little swoozles to go ahead and brush the hairs up so I could really see where I need to be filling in. Then I like to map out the shape of the brow that I'm going for, and I do like the natural shape of mine that I have going, so I'm just going to go ahead and start at the bottom and begin tracing. I do have a different technique for the inner corner, so I'm going to go ahead and go in with lighter pressure when I get to that area. So once I finish the bottom, I go ahead and move to the top and I do the same exact thing. I go ahead and connect the tail, and then when I get in the inner corner, once again, I apply lighter pressure. After checking the 3-point rule, I noticed that I wanted the top of my arch to be a little bit more rounded, so I went ahead and filled that in. And once I'm comfortable with how I shaped the brows, I'm going to go ahead and start filling them in. Whenever I get to this point, I like to stop and grab a little swoozle and take whatever excess product I have from what I drew in and kind of drag it out into the inner corner so it's not as heavy and it appears lighter. When I'm content with how my eyebrow looks, I'm going to go ahead and clean it up with some concealer. And today I'm going to be using the Smashbox Studio Skin 24-Hour Waterproof Concealer in the shade Light Medium. When choosing a shade for this concealer, I do want it to be light enough to make a difference and to clean everything up, but I don't want it to be light enough to the point where it's completely obvious and taking attention away from the brow itself. So once I finish with that, I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyelids with the MAC Pro Longwear Paint Pot in the shade Soft Ochre. I'm going to apply this all over my eye, and I'm going to try to do so as evenly and as streak-free as I possibly can, because I do want to give the eyeshadow the chance to really apply flawlessly. So once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and set my eyelid using a soft neutral shade. In this case, it's going to be the Anastasia Beverly Hills shadow in the shade Blanc. Now I'm going to go ahead and go in with Anastasia Beverly Hills Burnt Orange shadow, and I'm going to generously apply that in my upper crease area, and I'm going to go ahead and wing it out to the end of my eyebrow, basically. Now for the actual cut crease part of the eye, I'm going to go ahead and go in with an angled brush and the color Sienna by Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I will begin by feeling around my eye because I do want to see where my natural crease lies, and this will help me decide whether I want to follow my natural crease or create an entirely brand new one. So in my case, I guess I am doing a little bit of both. I am following the natural crease line from where you can see I've started and then dragging it out to the tail area, I guess I'm going to call it. And as you can see, I am going to start with lighter strokes so that in case I don't like it, I can always change it. So when I get to about here, I stop following my natural crease line. Because my eyes are so big, if I were to have followed the crease line, my crease would be really, really high. That's not the shape that I'm going for my look. Some people, when they do cut creases, do like how that looks. They do really like that rounded eye at the top and then swooped down tail, but for me, I kind of like it to go slick and straight out. So as you can see, in the inner corner, I'm not following and tracing where my eyelid folds and creases. I'm actually going to go a little bit higher to help even out with everything else that I've traced. So when I'm comfortable with the shape that I've mapped out, I'm going to go back in with that angled brush with Sienna on it, and I'm just going to feather up starting from the line that I have, because for me it does make it easier for me to blend the color in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to the entire eye. And if it, for you, looks messy or choppy at this point, don't freak out. It's just there to help us, and it's not exactly the final product of it. Once I finished with that, I went ahead and started blending the whole thing together using the MAC 217 blending brush. When I'm content with how that looks, I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did with the shade Sienna, only in the shade Violeta by Anastasia Beverly Hills. That's going to be in the Master Palette by Mario. And then again, of course, I'm going to start feathering it up, and then when I'm content with how much product I have on the eye, I'm going to go ahead and start blending it. So now I'm going to start blending the two together, and to do this, I'm going to be using a Silver Sigma blending brush. I don't know what number it is because it doesn't have one on it, and I got it from IMATS about 2 or 3 years ago. I decided that I wanted more of a pop of color, so I went in with MAC's Red Brick and applied it to my upper crease area. After finishing that is when I like to go in with the brow bone color. I really want to accentuate and highlight it, so to do that I'm going to be using another Abh Shadow in Tempera. Now is when I like to go in with my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Macadamia. And I'm going to pair it with a small synthetic brush, and that's what I'm going to use to go ahead and clean up my lines. To set this, I'm going to go in with the Kylie Jenner Kai Shadow in the shade Sugar Cookie, and then I'm going to get a clean blending brush and dust away all the excess shadow. And just in case you guys are wondering, because I do get asked this question a lot, that's not a birth or beauty mark in my eye. I actually poked myself with some tweezers not that long ago, and yeah, it's kind of been there since, so hopefully it goes away, but who knows. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Funny Girl from the Tartelette in Bloom palette. The reason I'm going with this shadow is because since I am using glitter, I want to go ahead and use a sparkly base shadow, just in case anything flakes off, you can still have that shimmer underneath. And like I said, because I'm working with loose glitter, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyeliner first, because I don't know if you guys have ever tried applying eyeliner after you've already applied the glitter. It doesn't quite cooperate, so I'm always going to start by applying my eyeliner first. When doing the wing part of my eyeliner, I almost want it to be parallel to the cut crease part of my eyeshadow, so I'm going to bring it out as straight as I can, but towards the end of the wing, I am going to kind of point it in the direction of where my cut crease ends. As you can see, I do start the wing part of the eyeliner fairly thin, and that's because I do prefer to build the eyeliner up, because it is much easier to add eyeliner than it is to take away. So always keep that in mind when doing your wing. Now to get the glitter to stick, I'm going to go ahead and use a NYX glitter liner, and it's going to be in the shade Crystal Hit. And for the glitter, I'm going to go ahead and use the Last Splash glitter in Enlightened. So the thing about glitter liner is that it does dry fairly quick. So when I do this, I'm going to do section by section. I start with the inner corner, the lid, and then I go to the more outer corner and crease area. Okay, when that's finished, I will go ahead and apply my falsies. I don't know what happened to the clip of me showing you which they are, but they are going to be the Huda lashes in the style Scarlet. And along with that deleted clip, it did show that I do curl my lashes and apply mascara on them before I apply my lashes as well. So now moving on to the face, I will start by applying a primer. Today we'll be using the J1 Jelly Pack, which is an anti-aging formula. So when I apply it, I'm going to go ahead and pat it into my skin rather than rubbing it around, which is going to kind of wear and tear and tug at the skin, which ultimately does lead to wrinkles. So for foundation, I am using the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. And I am in between these two colors currently, but I did want to use what I could from these, so I will be mixing Y375 and Y425. And I'm just going to apply it all over my face and down my neck using a beauty blender. And these are my holy grail. I don't know what I would do without my beauty blender. So I'm going to come back with that Smashbox concealer to highlight my face. And I will be, of course, applying it under the eyes, on the bridge of the nose, the forehead, and the Cupid's bow. So I'm not going to go too in-depth with the face makeup, only because I do plan on creating a video very soon of how to do foundation, highlighting, contouring, etc. And then I'm going to go back in with that same beauty blender and blend everything out. I do like to start with my under eyes first because I do have such big eyes that they do crease easily. So I always powder under those first. And then I'm just going to do the same thing to the rest of the face. So I'm just going to blend everything out and powder after. So next I'm going to warm up my face by applying some bronzer. And this is my absolute favorite bronzer that I use every day, which is MAC's Give Me Sun. So when I apply my bronzer, I'm going to apply it to everywhere that I'm going to apply the contour shades. So it's going to be in the cheek area, over the forehead, down the nose, and under the jawline. So it's not shown here, but I am using the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour palette to contour my face. I do use the light to medium one, and I do use the bottom three, which I believe are Fawn, Java, and Havana. I'm going to go back to my cheek area and back in with my Laura Mercier translucent powder to really define my cheeks. Moving along to the nose, I'm going to do this exact same thing. I'm going to contour my nose and then get some translucent powder to really define the lines that I've created. Now for my all-time favorite part, I'm going to show you guys how I highlight. So I'm just going to go in with my small Smashbox fan brush, and it's dipped in Gilded Honey by Laura Geller. So when people ask why my highlight or how my highlight is always so poppin', I like to apply a lot of it and everywhere. So as you can see, my highlight points are going to be on my cheeks, down my nose, over my eyebrows, and on the cupid's bow. And now to be super extra, I'm going to go in with the one and the only Champagne Pop by Becca Cosmetics and Jaclyn Hill. And honestly, you guys, this is also a main reason as to why my highlight's always so out there. About 99.9% of the time, I'm layering 2 to 3 different highlighters. Now for blush, I'm going to go ahead and go in with MAC's Warm Soul. I absolutely love this blush. It's not too dramatic or too harsh, but it is also easily very buildable. So now what I like to do to be even more extra and bring everything together is go in with one of MAC's Skin Finishes in the shade Global Glow. So last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and do my lips, and I'm first going to go in with MAC's Strip Down Lip Liner. And after I do that, I'm going to go in with my favorite nude lipstick right now, which is Laura Mercier's Milky Way. Now to top off the lips, I'm going to go ahead and go in with the Glam Glow Plumperageous Lip Gloss in Casting Couch, and that's kind of gross now that I think about it, but it's a nice color, you guys, so I'm just going to apply it anyways. Now to finish everything up, I'm going to go ahead and generously apply MAC's Fix Plus all over my face. And that is it. We are all done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and feel super inspired to go blind people with your eyes and highlight. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.